Little pool maintenance today. We're going to replace this auxiliary pump. This is a pressure side cleaner pump for our little robotic cleaner that runs in the pool. And this is the second one that we've had that's failed. So we're going to put a third one in. Thought I'd capture it today so that you can see how easy it is to do. That way you don't have to hire someone if you get one of these issues. Plumbing is really easy. It's all flexible pipe. So let's go ahead and get started by turning off the fuse breakers. If you're so lucky as to know that you got these things lit, you can go ahead and trip it. If you don't know, sometimes you have to, go through the process of elimination and try to figure out which one it is. But in this case, I have it pretty well marked. I will still go over the controller and make sure that it won't turn back on before I get started. All right, so all you're really going to need for this job is a pair of water pump pliers and assorted screwdrivers. We're going to go ahead and disassemble this. First thing we're going to do is take this lid off and disconnect the electrical that goes back to the controller. That's in this little conduit here. And then we're going to have to disconnect the electrical under that box because we're going to reuse that same wire as it goes in. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off these fittings right here, and then we'll get the new one in place and do everything in reverse. All right, let's go ahead and get this box off and have a look at the electrical. I'll show you what goes on in there. All right, so inside the box here, you can see we've got a little wire nut. That's going to have to come off, this conduit nut, so we can pull all these wires out. This is the green wire goes to a ground. There's a little mechanical screws. We're going to have to use a driver set for that to pull this out. So that's the green wire for ground. You have a black wire and a red wire. This little capacitor right here feeds the white circuit. So, oh, I guess not. That's internal. You don't have to worry about that one. So just 3 wires, red and black and green. So just make note of where they are on the circuit here. Black on the outside, red on the inside, and green goes to ground. Let's go ahead and get those taken off. And then we'll pull out this whole thing with this wire nut right here. There we go. We got all 3 of those wires disconnected. And we're going to take this wire nut off here, this little conduit nut. So these have little knobs on them, so you're not going to get a wrench on that to get it off. All you need to do is get a screwdriver on there. Give it a quick push with a screwdriver. There you go. So we've got the wires all disconnected. We've got our conduit out of the way. Now, next thing we're going to do is just going to disconnect it at the pump. We're going to disconnect these fittings. I'm not going to try to interfere with the leeward side. These parts that are connected to the PVC piping, we're going to leave those alone for now because we don't want to introduce any leaks. But we're just going to disconnect them at the pump here. These are squash fittings. So you don't want to disconnect at the there's two places to loosen here. You want to loosen it at the squash fitting so that you can get it to release, because that will keep this from twisting. When this is still tight, if you try to loosen the bottom, you'll twist this pipe. So you need to loosen the squash fitting right here and then get that pipe to release, and then you'll loosen the bottom half here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll catch back in. All right, there you can see once you get this squash fitting moved up away from where it's squishing, you can just pull it right off the pipe. It's just a little slide-on kind of situation, and then when you screw these little squash fittings down, it pushes down onto those, so you get a good seal. So that just pulls right off. It's not a problem. I'm going to get this one loosened. I'm going to have to put a little bit of a screwdriver in this one, kind of right here, to kind of convince it, because it's horizontal and I really can't pull up on it. I have to pull sideways and I can't get leverage. So, but we'll get it to break away. There it goes. See? Comes right off. Ta-da! All right, so this thing is free and ready to be replaced with the new one. Let's go ahead and get it out of here. All right, so here's the new one. And here's the old one. They look very similar. This is a Pentair, what is this? Model Boost Right. So that's part number is LAM505. It's 1.1 horsepower, 3,450 RPMs, 60 hertz, 115 or 230 volts, one phase. This one here is a fiber pool BP100, 220, so that'll fit with what we got going on over there. And doesn't tell you much more than that. It's a very similar product. I have a feeling that when we open it up, it's going to look just identical. A lot of times what they do is they manufacture very similar parts and then they put them under a different name. This has a little different kind of housing here. It has a little different little clippy thing here. This doesn't have the clippy thing. The housing here is just kind of flat and round. But I mean, if you're looking at it, you would say they're at least cousins, if not brother sister. Very similar vent openings. So yeah, let's go ahead and open this up and see if we got the same kind of equipment in the electrical box. All right, so once again, very similar configuration. You got a red wire. This have a blue wire instead of a black wire, and their green wire in this case is kind of weird shape. It's green and yellow, but it's the ground. It goes to the ground strap. They both have this big capacitor here, and so it's the same kind of configuration. I feel very confident that we can plug these in. Now, if you recall, the other one had a wire nut going through and it went to a conduit. In this case, we have a little different kind of configuration, but I think we can make those two work together. This one has a bit better moisture seal. The other one had just a regular conduit connection with an O-ring, but this has a nice rubber seal. But we're going to have to pull this wire out to put the new wire, or the old wire, back in the way it was. All right, let's get that going. All right, so I've transferred the fittings over. You can see I've got a little bit of this pipe thread sealant on there. These fittings don't have like a jam fitting where they have a washer or anything. They're resistance fittings, so as you tighten them, they get tighter. It's kind of like a tapered fit. So if you put this pipe thread sealant in there, it'll make sure that nothing will seep up through there. I got that on both of these, and we'll tighten them up nice. I'm going to go ahead and move this over in place and get the pipes connected, and then we'll finish up the wiring. All right, so here's our wires all laid up. We went ahead and put little eyelets on them, and if you can see on here, I've used a shrink wrap crimp on them. These will make them waterproof, and really the real goal behind that is not necessarily to protect them from water, but to protect them from corrosion. These are the here's the box, the actual product that I used. They are crimp heat shrink ring fittings. So anyway, that should keep those from having any kind of corrosion or any kind of degradation over time. Now, before I did that, I did a little bit of preliminary work. I got a liquid sealed end to the conduit here, and I've put the rubber grommet on the wires before or after I put this on, because this is going to squeeze against that grommet and hopefully give us a good seal. I'm going to augment that with a little bit of silicone sealer, but we're going to connect this in here and then we'll set them up. All right, there you have it, all wired up. Got your red going to the first post, your black going to the second post, green going down to the ground. All right, let's go ahead and give this thing a test. All right, so with the pool running, you can see I don't have any leaks. That's a good start. And I've already hit the button for the cleaner. Now it takes about a minute or two for the timer to expire before the cleaner will come back on. It does that just to make sure that if the cleaner comes on at the same time that the pool comes on. Anyway, so it does that so that the pool has some time to get primed before the cleaner comes on. You need to have pressure in order for it to push the auxiliary pump through to the cleaning robot. So in a few seconds we'll see if this works or if it doesn't. So that's it running. I don't know if you can hear it, so I'm going to turn it off so you can hear the difference between the main pump running and the whisper pump, the auxiliary booster pump. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now. It's so quiet, you can barely hear it. So that's all right. So quick summary: we replaced the burnt out pool booster pump with a new one. Went through the wiring and the plumbing. Really easy task. If you got one of these and you're considering where you're going to hire it out or do it yourself, I highly recommend you do it yourself. It's an incredibly easy task. So that's all I got for today. Subscribe if you're interested. Leave some comments. Cheers.